the know-how, and that's where we step in.
Who else better?
Who else better? And we trained about 120 ladies in one constituency.
Wow.
And they graduated well from that seminar, and then there's phase 2 that's going to happen. So yes, I will be visiting Namibia again because of that. But the hustler side of things, of hustle hard, the little nuggets that you teach us on a Monday, I took that with me to Namibia, and I was like, the best place to try out anything is in a new place, in a new environment. And let's just see if what George is saying actually works. Because back home we'll just be like, Uncle Billy. Uncle Billy is just,
Yeah.
And one of the things that you've taught us on this program is networking, the power of networking. If I tell you the net worth on my phone right now, dude.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those, one message away, one call away, all because you taught us how to network properly without asking for anything, and rather looking for, how can I be of service? How can I help you? What's your need? And then finding out more from the person that you were speaking to. And in one instance, I was speaking to a millionaire, and I had no idea. I was speaking to a millionaire. And can you imagine if I'd just gone in there, blank? But I went in there with hustle hard nuggets. Thanks, man. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna buy you a jet.
I like that, Becky.
I'm gonna buy you a jet.
It's great to have you back, Becky, and it's always good that people find a place to use these nuggets that we give them.
Yeah.
Because only when you use them do they become practical. And I think one of the greatest things that people fail to do is actually apply the nuggets we tell them to. And this is what makes people remain at the same place over and over again. And Becky, I mean, we're proud of you. It's amazing to see you blossoming.
Thank you.
We would love you on radio more often, but
when
the hustle calls, there's some things that we cannot stop. When somebody's in their season and things are going on, we got to let things go. So we're proud of you.
Thank you.
We see you blossoming. We see you on so many international platforms doing what you do and to your best ability. So, big shout out to you.
Thank you.
And
thank you. The support means a lot.
Yeah. And holla.
Yeah.
Big shout out to all the pulsers who are always tuning in on Monday. Becky, it's amazing. You were away for a bit, but the show didn't stop. We kept, giving people these nuggets.
I like
it. It's amazing where this show is going. There are people in various sectors listening. There are people at 12 o'clock who tune in to Capri Talk specifically for that hour. It's now becoming more of a class, and people are sitting as sales teams and they're huddling together to get this amazing input that they can actually apply in their lives, in their businesses. So that's the whole purpose of Hustle Hard. We are here again, we remind you, to provoke, to inspire, and to equip.
Yeah.
Once you're equipped, you become a different individual. And today on the topic we're going to talk about, it's gonna unpack a lot of things, because once you're equipped, you are prepared to meet the world. Just like what Becky was saying, all these things will make sense when you get in front of the president of millionaires, of billionaires.
Yeah.
And then you remember what you heard on Hustle Hard with BeckyK and George Billionaire on important questions to ask, how to address yourself, how to dress, how to present, the intelligent questions to ask when you are around money.
Especially that.
Power.
Especially that. Because there's an excitement that happens when you know the kind of room that you are in, and your mindset then speaks. Your mindset is what shows up when you are in that kind of environment. And then before you know it, it's either you have to catch yourself, or you're like, okay, I'm on a good road, let me put my best foot forward. And again, I will allude to the fact that if it wasn't for the lessons that you give us here, I mean, we can go onto the internet and Google these things, but the information is not going to be received the same as when you come through and you teach us on it. So the whole aspect of a mindset, being in the right place or being in the right set, is what is going to set people apart from those who are making it and those who desire to make it, and those who are not making it.
True that.
So I'm excited about today. We're talking about poverty is a mindset. We however see poverty physically, but most people believe that those who are said to be poor have been placed in that position, or life dealt with them with that leaf or with that tree or with that root. True. Or whatever it is that they want to put it. And fair enough, life does that. Yep. Life will throw you and put you in situations. We all can't be rich, but if we all have a desire to be better, or if we all have an image of what I can be more than where I am right now, you're already on your road to be better.
True that.
Now, when you say poverty is a mindset, is being rich a mindset also?
It is, definitely. And going back to the question, the topic you raised about when you met people, it's amazing how poor people, when they meet somebody who is rich, successful, or even the president of the country, the first thing that comes to mind is they want to get a picture. They want a selfie. They think that a selfie is going to make them become rich, or that I was with so and so, and you post it on social media, you get likes. But it does not change your life. But when you have a conversation with somebody, if you ask intriguing questions, if you tell them, wow, you know what, sir, I love the way you're running your business. I'm actually a startup entrepreneur and I'm on the journey similar to you. I would love to learn how you overcame your first 5 years in business.
Questions to ask.
That way, somebody will be intrigued to say, wait a minute, this young lady, this young man wants to learn how I conquered my first startup 5 years. And when you exchange contacts, it's better than a selfie. I'm always intrigued by people who, with time and chance, it happens to us all. But I promise you, if you're to meet the President, His Excellency, E.D. Mnangagwa today, what are the words that will come out of your mouth about an opportunity that you can present or a problem you can solve in the country? Majority of people will be blank. They will be high saying, no, we see the infrastructure you're doing. We're very proud as a nation. We see the Second Republic is doing well, this, that, and the other. But okay, Chadris or something that that you can actually say, listen, please get my number from
Run
the
with
PA,
it. Yes.
and then come and see me and we can talk more. So that is all about a mindset. And majority of people want clout. They want a picture with the president. They want a picture with a millionaire. They want a picture with a successful person. But that does not change your bank balance. It doesn't.
Absolutely not.
And you need to have a mindset which differentiates you. The next time the president, a millionaire, a billionaire, a successful person in whichever industry you're in sees you, they will be like, no, I like Becky. She is focused. She asks intelligent questions. She reminded me how I overcame my first 5 years. And she came and we spoke. The time for pictures will come when you own the relationship. I don't like to get pictures with people I don't have a relationship with.
Right.
I want to first have a relationship, and then the pictures can come.
Absolutely.
But then majority of people had a picture, had a clout, had a woodzoger, and this is what we're going to address today. With poverty is a mindset.
So what exactly is a poverty mindset?
So when we define poverty is lack, right?
Yeah.
And majority of people have lack because of what they've been exposed to. So when people grow up in an environment where there was lack, your mindset at a very young age is defined. When you grow up in the rural areas, if you grow up in the high density suburb and you have chicken once in a long time and you don't get exposed to all these things, your mindset is conformed to poverty. Every day we have lack. When there's juice, kumba, all those are things that were instilled at a young age that when you grow up, they affect you because you have what is called lack of resources and things. Now, when people grow up in that type of setup, I grew up in Glenora, and I tell you, Kumara and Kwedu, things were not all bright and rosy. But I can guarantee you that The greatest thing that my parents ever did was to take me to a school across town, because across town there was what is called exposure. And I always tell people the greatest thing anybody on this planet can have is what is called exposure.
True.
Because what exposure does, it's like why I end up with gym. Your mind is stretched and it won't go back to what it was before. So exposure is the greatest thing anybody can have. So poverty is something that we grew up with and the information you got. So if your parents were working all the years and they were never entrepreneurs, you become defined by what you are exposed to. So most parents, if you look at a lot of people listening today, they are most likely first-line generation entrepreneurs because their parents worked for 20, 25 years. And this is the first line of entrepreneurs that's there. So poverty will say that unofana kwenda kubasa for you to be successful.
Yeah.
Unofana kuti udzidze for you to become successful. But that is a limitation in the mindset that we grew up being told.
Okay.
Kuti unofana kuita izvi for you to be successful.
Let me take you back to the first line of entrepreneurs that you spoke about. Most of them fall out after some time of being in business, or when they die, that business then just dies with them also. But their mindset took them out of poverty and put them onto that entrepreneurship journey. What else should someone have besides a strong mindset or a strong belief system that I can make it, wealth is mine, this is my portion? How do I not die with my business?
You know, I've always said this before. When I began my journey of entrepreneurship, now remember, I'm a sum total result. Everybody who's listening today, where you are today, is a sum total result of the information you know or you don't know.
Okay.
Okay, I'll say that again slowly for somebody. Where you are today is a subtotal result of the lack of or information you have.
Okay, whether I have this information or I don't have this information, I am where I am right now because of that.
That's correct.
Okay.
So I am where I am today as an entrepreneur because of the amount of information I've received or gone to absorb from people who are successful as entrepreneurs.
Okay.
So people who are not entrepreneurs have never sought to get information from successful entrepreneurs. Therefore, they say, no, my entrepreneurship is wrong. Let me leave it alone. So where you are today is because of what you've chose to either digest or not even consume at all. So for me to be where I am, back to your question about successful entrepreneurship, when I began my journey in entrepreneurship, there are likes of Dr. Chandiwana, Dr. Eve Gadzikwa, Dr. Philip Changwa, Philip Mataranyika. There are people specifically who I said, these people are successful. I want to understand what they did for them, because they are all first-line entrepreneurs. So in Zimbabwe, if you look at it, every successful person, from Strive, Masiwa, from everybody, all of them are first-generation entrepreneurs. We do not have a business which has been laid forth to another generation and succeeded as blacks in Zimbabwe yet. If there is, maybe I'm not aware of it, but according to what I've researched and looked at, these are the first-line entrepreneurs, and they are yet to give it to the second generation. But what I found from them is that it's important, George, if you want to become a great entrepreneur, delay what is called self-gratification.
Okay.
Self-gratification, to look good, to buy expensive things, to forget about the business and focus on you. All this came from the wisdom of wanting to go and seek audience and advice from successful people. Now, a poverty mentality will think, no, I know everything. I don't need counseling advice from everybody. A poverty mindset will be like, I've just received 100,000. Let me go and buy a brand new car from that car sale that I've seen.
Right.
But then what are you doing with the business? You look good, yes, but your employees, your business is not well stocked. Your business is not going to live longer than you because you are thinking of self. But when I sought advice from them, and this is the difference between a poor mindset and a successful mindset. A successful mindset is willing to absorb, to become a sponge, kudzidza from others. Because hausiriwe watanga kuva successful at your specific age. But the benefit of having mentors and people who you learn from, you stand on their shoulders. Unaenda kunonzwisa kuti, okay, I've got this much. And I remember, thank God for an organization I always keep telling you about called the EII, the Executive Interaction Initiative. I joined that. I'm the organizing secretary for 2 Brigade. Dr. Chandiwana introduced me to it. I was the youngest entrepreneur 8 years ago, and I was exposed to gurus in business.
So exposure is the key?
Exposure is
because
everything.
I'm thinking of the poor young man who wants to be bigger, like born in a poor community, or probably born from a poor family, doesn't have that much exposure, but somewhere in him or inside of him or her, they know that they were created for bigger things, but their parents don't know any better. So and then they just grow in that community, and the cycle just continues. So without exposure, the mindset can never be changed.
It can't. So imagine, I always give the example of chickens and eagles. When God sent you and I keep rephrasing this, biologically speaking, Becky, you and me were born winners. Right?
Yeah.
When your father met your mother,
wonderful, womb, I was the first one.
You ran a race, and you and I were number one. You and me.
Yes, the ones on earth.
We were born
winners already.
Right?
Yeah.
But upbringing up, I mean, I can convince her, or where you got information that you are not destined for greatness. Somebody, it's either the school you went to, it's either the parents who raised you, it's either the environment which you grew up, that then convinced you to say, wait, but you can live an ordinary average life.
Yeah.
Kana wakakurira kuGlenora unofanira kufira kuGlenora. Kana wakakurira kumusha aufana kumboziva kuHarare. Kune vamwe vanhu, Becky, who surprisingly enough have never been to Harare. I was in South Africa. There are other people who've never been to Durban. Vanongoziva kwavakazvarirwa. And because of lack of that thereof, imagine the life that these people have. They have a confined mindset. Yokungofunga kuti panapa, this is life. But when you become exposed, and to people who want to get to the other side of life, it's about how hungry you are. I remember when I was young, I was one person, Becky, who was very hungry to learn. Pakakonzi pane a business summit, or there's such and such speaking. I was that individual who, if it comes to learning, I go all out. If I remember Dr. Nigel Chanakira, Dr. Nico, I would go to business summits. So
is Dr. Nico Ohizo still doing his business summits?
Yes.
Those are powerful.
And I've learned a lot.
Biblical principles that work.
And this is why I keep saying to people who are out there, wakarambo in a mindset that you grew up with. And in the word of God, it says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Come on.
We were born winners, but somewhere, somehow, software yako haina kuzaupdatewa. Kuramba ichiudzwa kuti you are a winner. And then guess what? You settled in a comfort zone. You settled with the chickens. Vavaramba uchitamba nevanhu vasina ambition, vasina goal. And those people ended you up to being where you are today.
Yeah.
And some people who are listening today, you are okay with your JOB. You're just over broke. You're okay with it. It doesn't sound nice, but it's the truth. But that's because uri conformed pawori. You don't want to learn. And the greatest thing a lot of people are doing now, they tuned into this show. Their mind is being provoked. They're being pushed. Wait a minute. What George is saying is truth. It's provocative. But am I really going to settle for a poverty mindset? And the poverty mindset, it's okay. Chickens are okay. Chickens, you don't need to close the gate. They don't go outside the gate. They know this is our area. They are confined. But the other side, the eagles, the names I mentioned earlier on, these people will say, wait, come up here. I want you to see something. This is my business when I started 10 years ago. And now this is where I am.
Yeah.
I did not do what everybody else is doing. Once people start making money, I remember Dr. Stephen Magolis told me, money does not make noise, George. Real money. It does not make noise. It's quiet. Wakaona munhu achiita too much, papa. That person is shallow. But real money. In the country of Zimbabwe, we've got multi-millionaires and billionaires. But can I tell you one thing about it? You will never see them. You never see them dressed in stunning, shiny clothes. You never see them popping bottles or going around.
But okay, wait. Let's just take it back a bit. Everyone who has come to a level of wealth, akatombopfura ukapa phase yo yokuita noise nekungoti see me, I got money now, and then they count down. Or does that also have to do with mindset? Does rich have a mindset? Does wealthy have a mindset? Like before I make my money, I already know if I want to be just rich or wealthy, then my mindset follows that.
Do you know, I believe people who are well mentored and well groomed, you never ever have to show what you have for people to know how much you're worth. You never have to. And like you said earlier on, when you want to see somebody, when you want to see new money, let them open their mouth.
Oh yeah.
And then you understand that wait, there's lack of grooming and etiquette, what you constantly teach in your seminars.
Yeah.
You don't talk too much. You may be a millionaire, great, but you don't have to get people to know who you are by what you're saying.
Oh yeah.
People should then, in Proverbs it says it's better kunogara kumashure wozodedzwa kuti no, say please come to the front, than to get a big head thinking no, they need to know I'm here.
Yeah.
So it's a mindset that people need to understand.
Right.
And poverty is a serious disease which is holding people back. It's a serious disease because poverty haina matirwe ichienda. No. Poverty is something chitori mauri wakatokura uinayo, right? Because of the upbringing you had. But the only way to flush out the poverty is what I always say here: change association. Number one, right? If you hang out with losers,
you'll become whatever number loser it is.
But when you hang around success, even uri the smallest of them all. And I keep going back to the EII, an amazing platform. For me, that's one of the greatest networking platforms that has benefited me in business.
Yeah.
I have learned from the gurus. Unofana kuenda kunzvimbo yekuti hausiwo uri kutaura, you are learning. And these are guys 70, 80 years old. They've been in business 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
They will tell you, George, you remind me so much of me when I was your age. And these are the mistakes I made. This is what I did. I don't want you to fall trap in this. Do X, Y, Z, and you learn. But then with people who have a poverty mindset, there's no personal self-development. I want to ask the pulsers today, which is the last self-development book that you read? The book for personal
self-development. Just for your self-growth.
Imagine that. And I tell you, I do this. I have a ritual. I have a habit. And successful people have this habit in life.
Yeah.
They read books. If you want to become the 3% of the wealthy and rich people, they are constantly updating their mental software.
Yeah.
Constantly. Unofanoramba uchidzidza daily. Make it a task that every single day you are learning something new. Every single day. Whether you are watching something while you're working, whether you are reading a book, whether you are taking a successful person for lunch, or there's something that you're doing that's teaching you something every single day. But with poverty, they know the latest series that's out. They know where the latest party is going to happen and this, that, but on self-development, they don't have that. They don't invest in themselves. And the greatest investment anybody can make is investing in yourself. You have to mentally get yourself to a place where you want to be. Becky, before I started Pro-M, I was somebody who, I was hungry. I wanted the other side of life. I used to go to seminars, like I tell you.
Yeah.
I used to buy books.
And you still attend them?
To people, and hakuna kuti because somebody younger than me is speaking, I think I don't have to go because I akatanga nezulu. Knowledge haina age. A lot of people think the older you are, there are a lot of old people who are still young boys. Get it right. Because of their lack of wanting to learn from others. But then if you become hungry for success, at a young age, I was always somebody who would go to expos, to learn from all these successful people. And what that did for me, in the Word of God, it says faith comes by hearing. So to people who are hearing us now, ndokutanga taking action. You first hear it. Wait a minute. George did it. Becky is now based in America and Australia.
Yeah.
But now she's the other side. Imagine that. But everything begins by hearing and saying, wait a minute. If Nigel Chanakira did it, if Strive Masiwa, Philip Mataranika, Dr. Eve Gadzikwa, all these great people did it, why not me? There are so many success stories here in Zimbabwe from people who came from abject poverty ekupedzisira. But the difference with them, not wait a minute. Success begins in your mind. And most of the people, all these names I mentioned, all of them came from the other side of town. And I always say it's so amazing how the people who grew up without are the people who are really hungry for it. So the people who are in poverty, trust me, they are the ones who are anamachikira. They're like, you know what? Let me just try. And we call them and try more here on Hustle Hard. Those people who try more have a mindset of actually fulfilling something than the people who are continually, again and again, blaming the government, blaming politics, blaming the weather.
The blame game.
They are always procrastinating. But Chavasir Guziva is that time waits for nobody. You are continually going to become poor and poorer because you are passing of opportunities regularly by kuramba uchingomema and complaining. But what you forget is that the same 24 hours you have, you and me have. That billionaire you look up to, he has the same time, but what he does,
it's totally different.
He utilizes his time. He's not blaming people, but he's taking action, solving tangible problems. And this is the difference with a poverty mindset and those who make it in life.
0719-100-404 is the WhatsApp number. If you're not apping us right now, I don't know who you are apping, because at this point in time, this is the most happening show right now. My Juju writes in and says, hi, Becky and Uncle George Billionaire. Thank you for the program. It continues to open my mind. I'm into real estate. I buy stands, build houses, and rent them out. I'm not where I want to be, but I'm glad I'm not where I used to be. I used to have this poverty mindset where I thought rich relatives owe me.
Come on. Imagine.
Where I thought rich relatives owe me.
Imagine.
Now I see this mindset everywhere. For example, on the status, you know those messages there, one day.
Yeah.
Do not despise humble beginnings. And you're like, are you writing this in good rapport because you are working on something, or are you wakumbira mari somewhere and then and then now it's here, do not despise.
You know, it's a pity that people, growing up, I was exposed to a lot of things, and there's nobody. This is a public announcement to people. Nobody is ever going to come and rescue you until you personally decide to take responsibility of your life. The president doesn't owe you anything. Your rich uncle, auntie does not owe you anything. They have their own families and children to take care of. If they want to buy a new car, that's them. They decided to go the road less traveled, which is why now they are eating fruits from a tree they planted years back.
Yeah.
But you want to take advantage of somebody else who decided to take a road less traveled, and now the fruits are coming out, and you now think you are co-ownership of that thing, and that's not it. We have to become a country, a people that take responsibility of ourselves.
Yeah.
Gone are the days where, we keep saying, and believe it or not, sooner than later, yes, jobs will come. But in the meantime, create something. And one thing I love about this country, people take it for granted, and I keep emphasizing it. Becky, you came from a place where there are people, in Zimbabwe, we are very empowered as a people. If you go around, you'll see everybody wants to enterprise.
Yeah.
We were very privileged by our former president and our current president to go out and seek your own success, seek your own wealth, do things for yourself. And that's not a message that's in a lot of African countries.
No, absolutely.
In a lot of African countries, to those who travel, entrepreneurship is a non-starter. People have been very much brainwashed by the education they got that I need to study, pass, and go and get a job.
Yeah.
But here, fortunately, as Zimbabweans, And wherever Zimbabweans are, you'll see we strive because we have a different mindset. But now we need to level it up and get away from the blame game, from complaining and actually doing something about it.
Yeah.
12 years ago, I decided to stop complaining and murmuring because I was earning $300 like somebody who's listening to this program, and things were not adding up when I just had twins, and things were not okay. But I decided, I saw, wait a minute, there is a challenge with this climate change. There is a problem with heating and cooling. Let me begin an enterprise called ProAir. And many years back, so many people said it will not work. You don't have the experience. You don't have the knowledge. Whoever started a business in your community like that, and you have that. But a poverty mindset, similar to a lot of friends that you have. When you want to start something, chickens don't want you to get out of the comfort zone. They like numbers. But there's no doubt in poverty. They don't want you to break out. And guess what? This is what then a poverty mindset does. It doesn't want growth. It doesn't want change. But for me, I didn't have a fallback plan like I always say. I didn't go to university or graduate and have the privileges of having a rich father who could take me to university.
Don't we all want that story?
Imagine that. But then I took a decision. It was a personal decision that now I am benefiting from the tree I planted years back.
Yeah.
And majority of people, they are going to soon realize, I keep speaking about this, kuti vanhu vanotemba mabasa avainawo so much.
You should see the messages coming through, man.
Yeah, they think, the jobs they have are going to take care of them. But one day, I heard last week a friend of mine was telling me his dad worked for so many years, and he got a check of $300 and a bicycle. And
okay,
imagine.
Let me just hold you.
Get it correctly.
What?
This is here, and this is the same with most places you go.
Yeah.
Package, but that package will never take care of you. Rather than you investing in something that you give your whole heart and time to.
Sure.
That's a tree that you plant and grow. Right now, get it correctly, we are all tilling in somebody else's land. It's great, but it's great exposure for the time until you finally find what you are purposed to be and do.
We need to take an ad break. When we come back, audios to listen to, messages to get through. Hustle Hard with George Billionaire on Capi Talk 100.4 FM. You tuned into the Pulse.
Zimbabwe tobacco industry leaders, financial institutions, tobacco farmers, NGOs, as well as all stakeholders invested in the future of the golden leaf. Join us on the 7th of June 2024 at the Rainbow Towers in Harare for a groundbreaking Zim Papers Business Weekly Tobacco Conference. The conference presents a chance to unlock the potential of Zimbabwe's tobacco industry and will be tackling the critical issues of financing, exploring innovative solutions that empower our farmers, strengthen the local economy through beneficiation and value addition and promote sustainable practices. Imagine a future where profitability meets responsibility. At the Tobacco Conference, we will chart a course to get us there. Be ready to be part of the change. For partnership and registration details, you can reach out directly to our team. On 0772 651 852.
They don't believe.
On 0773 216 457 or Lynn on 0783 776 832.
Okay,
don't miss this opportunity. Join the Zim Papers Business Weekly Tobacco Conference on June 7th and be part of shaping a brighter future for Zimbabwe's tobacco industry.
And you're just here to make noise, bro.
City and Prime, in partnership with Care Zimbabwe, brings you the Sustainable Business and Suppliers Symposium.
No, you'll always have the most.
Harare International Conference Center.
Oh my
the
gosh.
symposium's aim is to bring together industry leaders, experts, and suppliers who are committed to promoting and driving positive change in the business world. The symposium will facilitate dialogue and collaboration among over 100 corporates, government entities, civil society organizations, and other stakeholders. To participate, contact Shingi on 047 89201 or Rumbi on 0774 166 151. ZTN Prime. Get the picture.
It's The Pulse with BeckyK on Capital 100.4 FM.
Holla, it's your boy George Billionaire, and you're listening to Capi Talk 100.4 FM, Harare's heartbeat. With yours truly, BeckyK.
George Billionaire, also known as Uncle Billy on the Pulse. So we are on our final 6 minutes of Hustle Hard. Here's an audio I want us to just listen to, and then we can come back and close it off.
The only people who say money is not important are the ones that don't actually have it.
Yes.
Because you think about how many poor people will trade places with rich people, but how many rich people will trade places with poor people? So obviously the number of poor people that will trade places with rich people is a lot higher than the rich people that will trade places with poor people, telling us that even if you're unhappy with money, you still want to keep it, right? And people say to me, money is not everything. I say to them, but water is not everything.
Yeah.
What kind of logic is that?
Yeah.
Water is not everything. You should stop drinking water. Like what people come, and you know why people make these rationalizing statements? Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to compensate for the lack of achievement in the area of money.
Yeah, of course. They're trying to make themselves feel comfortable in their own situation.
Correct. They're trying to make it sound like, hey, you know what? I'm okay. But that's ego.
All right. So that was a clip from a businessman based in the States.
Yeah.
And he says money talks make poor people uncomfortable, or people with a poor mindset uncomfortable. So they end up saying certain things just to, make themselves feel comfortable. And they say statements like money is not important or money is not everything. So he says it's the same as saying water is not everything.
True that.
And it doesn't make sense because water is life. So the same thing that you would say about money, just think about it about anything logically. You need money.
Yeah.
You need money. It might not be a measure of status or a measure of success in some places, but you need money.
True.
You do need it. And on your topic on poverty is a mindset, of which we only covered like maybe 2 questions around it. Here is a question from a gentleman in Victoria Falls.
Yeah.
Anzi Becky, izvo zviri kutaurwa izvo ivo vati vazvizamawo here, and currently where is he in life? Vakatovatarisa ipapo. Are you seeing a Strive Masiwa character on him? I'm Chinyoka from Vic Falls.
Oh, wow.
Anzi, are you just coming through to just talk?
Yeah, so Becky, with the great thing about radio is that people come with different opinions, and it's great. But I think the purpose of this show is to try and provoke, inspire, and equip each other.
Right.
And it's a mindset we need to change. And when somebody asks a question like that, I think I've personally done greater than where I was before.
Absolutely.
Because where I was 10 years ago and where I am and where I'm supposed to be in the future, I'm still on a journey. And in life, let's remember, we're not in competition. We are not trying to become better than somebody else. We're always trying to become better version of ourselves. So to my brother who's asking, I think for all those who listen on Hustle Hard, our purpose here is to give each other nuggets, to provoke our mindsets, to become better off. The purpose I come on this show is to intrigue people, to say, wait a minute, if I did it, if all these people I talk about did it, you also can did it. You can do it as well, and it's possible. And all it begins with the mindset. So imagine poverty mindset, unotanga kuquestiona munhu ari kuda kukubatsira and auchabatsirika.
Okay.
And this is the thing that we always say, when you're around somebody who's going to change your life, rather absorb. You may know better than a specific individual, but let them speak their mind in order to help you, rather than cut them off when they are trying to actually open a door for you or to open your eyes to see a better thing.
Right.
I don't compare myself to any successful business person, but I have learned from all of them. And I am a sum total result, like I said. Remember, poverty is a mindset. The more you keep learning from successful people and their traits, just 10 years in business, 12 going on 13. But trust you me, I would have never been where I am without the input of those people. So to my brother, I'm on a journey. I'm not governed by you or by anybody. I'm running my own course, and all of us should do the same thing. Let's run our own course. Let's try and learn as much as we can, and let's try and absorb, these success traits so that we can become the best version that God created us to be.
We didn't cover what we wanted to cover in terms of how to get out of the out of the poverty mindset into a wealth mindset. I'm sure we can cover those points next week. But what we covered today is pretty much get out of that mindset that you are in. You are capable of making it in life. You are capable of living the life that you want to live. Poverty mindset is living in scarcity and in fear that there will never be enough. It is living in fear that things will never work out, that even what you have now can be taken from you at any moment, and that wealth is beyond your reach. It is holding on to the belief that some people are already born into wealth and the rest are doomed to suffer the woes of poverty for life. So if you've been thinking like this, your mindset is already on that poverty side of things. You need to know that there is enough to go around and that God did not create you to be average or mediocre. If you can see it, you can achieve it. All you have to do is believe it. It is 1 o'clock. It's time for the news on Capital 100.4 FM.